The Fallen Eagle just updated for the Royal Court expansion and added in some pretty big changes, like new mechanics and gameplay features, as well as working with the creator of Rice to add some amazing decisions and immersion to the Dark Ages, as well as a bunch of other smaller historical changes throughout the entire map. And I've said it before, the Fallen Eagle may be my favourite mod. I just love the current 395 AD start date, as it just gives so many playthrough opportunities, from reuniting and holding together the split Roman Empire while you battle the imperial policies that can make or quite literally break your empire, to starting in Britain and trying to rid the Isles of Roman influence and rule. And this is only the beginning, as there's 4 more start dates planned for the future, and each one will bring a completely unique experience. And if they're half as polished as the current 395 start date, us players are in for a treat. Anyway, let's just get into some of the new features and mechanics they have added. The first major change is to the trade system, and this is something I'm still learning about, as there's quite a lot to this. And they have used some of the systems from the Trade Goods mod, which is somehow a mod I must have missed when it released, but I can give a little overview of what to expect. So basically, in the Fallen Eagle, major capitals across the world, from London to Constantinople, are trade centres, and each one has a local trade power, which shows how many trade goods are produced and travel through this city, and a global trade power, which shows the trade centre's power, well, on a global scale. And if you go to the resources overview map, you can actually see what areas of the map have certain resources, like silk, stone, leather, and so on. And this allows you to create a city market in that holding to produce that material. This will increase the local trade centre's trading power, and of course give some nice extra taxes, as well as giving the holder of the county a bonus, like copper giving you an income modifier, leather which increases your men-at-arms toughness, or silk increasing your monthly prestige. And I really do love this change, as I've always thought some sort of trading system and resource mechanic could really add a lot to Crusader Kings, and it does. And the last thing I'll quickly mention on trade is, you might wonder what's the point of increasing your trading power, and the simple answer is money, money, and more money. There's also giant monuments that you can build inside your holdings, showing either you or some close family members, which is just really nice to be able to immortalize important characters to remember. And depending on how much you like them, you can choose between 5 different materials, with the cheapest being stone at 5,000 gold. That gives you some pretty massive bonuses to your building construction speed and costs, as well as some more taxes all the way up to the most expensive, gold, costing 20,000 gold. But the best thing about this one is that it boosts your monthly income by 10%, and it gives you 2 more knights and allows you to have an extra 10 vassals, while also boosting your character's diplomacy. So although it's stupidly expensive, the 10% income boost will most definitely allow this to pay off in the long run. And in between those two, we have limestone that helps with your stewardship, marble for learning, while copper gives the same bonuses as gold but just not as powerful. Although this is actually my favourite looking statue, as after about 20 years, the statue will oxidize, turn into that green colour we know and see on the Statue of Liberty. It honestly just looks amazing, and it's just another one of those things that goes to show the attention to detail and love this mod has put into it. You're also able to build gardens around the monuments, giving you bonuses to your development growth and monthly prestige, and you can also build fences to protect your monuments. This increases your holding taxes and control, and gives you a little bit more natural dread. They mentioned over on Twitter that in the future we will be able to build temples and towers, which I actually can't wait to see how they pull off. I really hope it's similar to the current system, where you can see the fence and garden if you build them around the monuments. It just gives me the Crusader Kings 1 vibes of building up your holdings and actually seeing the town view fill up with new buildings. And this just gives you the feeling that stuff is actually being built and not just filling up another menu. And of course, a Royal Court update wouldn't be complete without new artifacts to collect and to fill up your courts. There's now obelisks added that are pillars from Egyptian temples, and they do come with some pretty nice bonuses, but honestly, they just look amazing. They're absolutely giant in your throne room, as well as Roman shields available. And the thing I love about these is that you can actually see the damage they have taken during previous battles. And this just adds to that salvaged feel of how I expect artifacts to look. Although probably my favourite looking artifact is the bust of Marcus Aurelius, as it's just so different from any of the artifacts in the game. Yeah, and it just looks really good and is cool to display. There's also the legendary Aurelian's helmet that will take a very long time to find, and that is if you get lucky. It's a pretty rare artifact, but the prowess and a huge +2 prestige a month certainly makes it worthwhile to hunt for. Moving on to some other changes, the Council of Chalcedon now exists and starts in 451 AD, like what happened in the real world, where Christian bishops from all across the world met, resulting in the conversion of many current Christians to the new Chalcedonian Christianity faith, and causing all other Christian faiths to consider you hostile and starting a new era for the Christians to convert and destroy those who don't agree with this new faith. Cultural traditions were not left out either, with new fitting traditions like Roman legacy, making men-at-arms cheaper to buy and maintain, while lowering the amount of levies you can have, allowing you to further focus on having the most elite foot soldiers in the entire world. Or if you'd prefer to play as a tribal ruler and want to create a kingdom that migrates to where they see fit, the Migrators tradition unlocks the Germanic migration Casus Belli, so you can move as you please, and it also makes strong and hail prestigious traits. There's also just so much more added, from new decisions to restore an empire's competence if you fail, to some pretty incredible looking Roman armor, and other smaller historical changes throughout the entire world. But to end the video, I have to quickly talk about their work with the creator of Rice, and if you're unaware, he also makes Viet, and both of these mods add some of the best flavour and events to the entire game. They're both pretty much essential mods for me, and probably many of you as well. But if you also load Rice with the Fallen Eagle, you get some very special events, decisions and buildings, as they've added 2 new packs. The first, Rhodes, uses the new monument building and adds in the Great Colossus of Rhodes. And while it stands, nearby rulers can take a decision to visit the statue, and it's like similar to how a pilgrimage works, while also adding in the sponge trading of the Klimnos Island, giving the holders some extra taxes and development growth, as well as the ability to gift sponges to other rulers, as they were a pretty luxurious item back then, and it's a nice way to increase people's opinions of you, or you can actually buy some for yourself. This gives you a nice small health boost. And of course, the island of Rhodes gets a special build-in that gives you some pretty great defensive bonuses, which ends up with it being a pretty tough challenge to siege. And the second flavour pack, the Children of Nile, which adds a new tradition allowing the Egyptian people to take full advantage of the River Nile, increasing their building capabilities in deserts, oases and floodplain tiles. And each year you will get a notification letting you know how well the year went for food along the River Nile, giving nearby counties modifiers, and depending on how good or bad the year went, you can actually take different decisions to react to this. There's just a bunch, and I mean a bunch of other decisions to take. I'm not going to go in incredible detail as it kind of spoils it, but it's just insanely well made and adds so much to do in these areas. There is actually a smaller update coming soon to the Fallen Eagle, and once that releases, I'll be sure to do a gameplay video with this mod. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. The link for the mod will of course be in the description, and if you did enjoy the video, do consider leaving a like and subscribing. But either way, I'm going to end the video with a massive thank you to all the channel members. We have Bayek Von Quark, Arcane, Damien, Intermia1, Irrelevant, Luke Jarrett, Zigadelic, Random Icelander, Dover404, and Harold Volmar. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.